sunburn really hurts. Okay. Do I look scary? Hi everybody, welcome to Half Messy Parenting, where I get to share with you my parenting experiences. Today I'm going to be talking about caught and taught. Now, a very wise woman from a very wise podcast told me that more is caught than taught when it comes to your kids. And that made me think about a story that just happened. I was on my way to take my son to camp. My son and my daughter were in the car, we were doing good, and it's a 20-minute drive, so it's not like it's a hop, skip, and away. We get there, unload them, and you parents know, you know that when you pack up the car and the lunches, like there was a lot of work involved, and you like Velcroed them off the bed. There was a lot of work and energy that when you dropped them off, you're like, ah. That wasn't my case though. As soon as my daughter hopped out, then my son was about to get out, and I said, okay, honey, you could go now. And he said, oh no, Mom, I can't. And I was like, why? And he said, because I only have one shoe. And then I just closed my eyes out of frustration. And I said, why do you only have one shoe? And he said, I couldn't find the other one, which made me question myself. I forgot to check if my son had two shoes on. Should I have checked that? I don't know. So immediately, like any parent who has worked so hard to get to the camp, I asked the camp counselor, hey, is it okay if he goes in with one shoe? I'll be back with the other. Like if that was an okay option. Of course she said, no, he could get hurt with just one shoe. And I was like, oh, fine. But she was in the right, I was in the wrong. I was just being selfish at that moment. I immediately called my husband, and he calmed me down because I didn't yell or anything at this point. I was just frustrated. And he said, it's okay, I'll drive there and bring the shoe, don't worry, because I had somewhere to go after that. I parked the car with my son in the car, and he's not really knowing anything that's wrong besides the fact of, oh, I should have thought about my shoe. And I was about to yell, and I really did want to yell at him, but then I decided not to yell. I pulled him to the front and I said, honey, you have to remember, 2 shoes, okay? And he said, yeah, I know. And right there, while we were waiting for my husband to come with the one shoe, we were able to laugh a little bit and just enjoy that moment. Instead of it being an angry yelling moment, I chose to go the other way because I don't want him to think it's okay to yell at everything. I want him to know that it's okay to say the truth, the lesson that needs to learn, you need 2 shoes, but not yell about it. This story is to just promote that more is caught than taught. My kids know that yelling doesn't get them anything. So I like to be a little bit proud that God has shown us that yelling is not okay. And I've seen that my kids have caught that on, and it's great. If another parent who's already done her parenting years and she's in the empty nest syndrome said that more is caught than taught, I'm gonna believe her. So we're not in the teen years, but we're in the little years. So I know if I could remember this, then we could keep this going as the kids get older and bigger kids have bigger problems instead of just a shoe. Some things that I could even see evident today that more is caught than taught would be more like, I'm about to actually say, I almost said literally. My daughter loves to say the word literally in front of every sentence. And I didn't teach her that. She just caught on to that because I literally say that all the time. Literally. It feels like a good word to say, right, babe? Literally. Another thing that has been caught in our family is pulling the finger, and that's not me, so haha, that's my husband. He would play a joke, and even my kid's grandfather would say, pull my finger, and of course a fart would come out. And now my son just loves to do that. Isn't that perfect? So obviously though, that doesn't mean that you're going to teach them things. I love some of the things that we've already put into play that we're teaching them, like no phones at the table. That was hard for when our children were at their baby years and we couldn't bring the phone to the table, but I would remind my husband that if we could do this now, it means that we could promote it when they're older too, so that we are self-disciplined with that. Another thing that we've taught the kids is about choosing together. We have a boy and a girl, and obviously I know that they're going to not agree on everything, but when we watch a movie or when we pick a book to read, I want them to pick that together. We started that when they're young, and they know that they have to pick it together. I love that. And one last thing that I want to share that we've taught them, and we've taught them many things, biblical value standards, Bible lessons, being kind, being selfless. I love that we've taught them to show love. Whenever they're being rude to each other or in a fight, I always ask them, are you showing love? Because to me, that covers everything. That covers being kind and being selfless. And they've reacted really well to that. So instead of saying, hey, who had that toy first? Or it's her turn, I always say, hey, are you showing love? That's something good to teach. In the end, our job, my husband's job, is to always make sure that we remember that our kids are watching us. They're watching how we talk, they're watching how we interact with other people, and we need to be an example to them, because now we know that more is caught than taught. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't teach, but it should be more mindful of your everyday interactions with your kids, and also when your kids aren't around. So from my half messy life to yours, I encourage you to remember that more is caught than taught when it comes to parenting. But if I heard from another mom that in all her years of parenting and she's already in the empty nest syndrome, where was I? I don't know. Let's start again.